So in this video, I'm going to share with you 4 ways to focus on you in this season. YOU, not the kids, not your hubby, not anyone else. 4 ways to focus on you in this season because I know a lot of you are feeling behind in business. You're feeling behind in life. A lot of you have started businesses so many years ago, but you're not seeing any traction because you've never been able to focus on that business. So that's what this video is going to be about. I'm going to share with you some tips, some things that I kind of changed the last year because I was finally able to like open my eyes and focus on me. Um, and yes, last year, I was going to say yesterday, but last year, my word of the year, I had a couple, but one of them was selfish. And it seems like sometimes it's always bad to say, I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to do this for myself because we always feel like we have to do things for everybody else, right? Like we feel like we have to do everything for the kids. We have to do everything for our parents. We have to do everything for our spouses before we can sit down and launch that course, before we can sit down and record those videos, before we can sit down and launch that coaching package. But I'm here to tell you, I want you to start putting yourself first, taking moments out of your day to make sure you get ahead in the business that you have in your mind. So I have a few notes here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. If you have any questions as we go along, go ahead and drop them below. So it's going to be 4 ways to focus on you to increase your business. So these are going to be 4 quick ways. You can go ahead and take notes. You can also download a guide. So I just created a guide and I uploaded it to my website. I'll link my website below, but it's my name. It's knifeyburks.com. It's an ebook. It's called What Could I Monetize Right Now? And I literally just created this before this video because I felt like I wanted anyone that's watching this to have a checklist or a cheat sheet, something to go by, something that will ask them the simple questions that they need to prepare them for the next step. That next step, which could be your course, your digital product, your ebook, your book that you've been putting off. Whatever it is, I want you to have the specific questions that you want to ask yourself to get to that next step. So go ahead and download that. I'm going to link it in the description. I'll also probably pin it as well, so you'll have it. But the first thing that you want to do in order to focus on yourself to increase your business is travel. How long has it been since you traveled? How long has it been since you took a trip? Um, Even if it's by yourself. I traveled by myself for 6 months last year. And lived in Mexico for 6 months last year. I lived between Playa del Carmen and Tulum for 6 months. Now, my family came out to visit for several weeks. My friend and my daughter also came out to visit as well. But in between those 6 months, I had time to relax. I had time to heal. I had time to um, crush out a lot of things that I had put off because I was at home being busy. So the first thing that you want to think about is like a little getaway, even if it's like a little getaway for the weekend. Like, for example, I lived in Chicago. A lot of people would go and stay downtown. I don't live in Chicago now. I live in Tampa. But when I did live in Chicago, a lot of people would say, okay, I'm just going to go and stay downtown for the weekend, or I'm going to go to Geneva for the weekend. Like we would do things just for quick getaways. And then now that I'm in Tampa, I can say, okay, I'm going to go and stay in Clearwater for the weekend, or I'm going to go and stay in St. Pete for the weekend, or Sarasota, even if it's just like a quick getaway for a few days to help you kind of take some time to relax and then take some time to implement. So that's one thing that I would do. Now, if you can take an extended trip like I did, go ahead and take it. Because that was like one of the best decisions I have made was by taking that trip for 6 months in Mexico. Next thing is cut out what no longer works for you. So this is something else that I did while I was in Mexico. While I was in Mexico, wrote down everything that I was doing in my business. Now, for you, if you're just starting your business and you don't have anything launched yet, I want you to look at everything that you're doing in your life, your day-to-day activities, and start writing those down and see what you can cut out. So for me, with my business, because most of my day was running my business, there were some things I needed to cut out. And for example, I was doing a lot of done for you projects where I was completing projects for clients, doing things for them in their business, such as setting up their systems, setting up their emails, their automation flows, setting up their of course, creating their social media content. I was creating ebooks. I did about over 50 ebooks for different clients last year. It was just so much that I was doing for clients. It was it was overwhelming and it was time consuming because the clients were coming to me for my expertise on creating those products, creating those funnels and things for them. It was kind of hard for me to hire out because I knew exactly what the client wanted. And I figured since I have it all in my head, let me go ahead and do it instead of me explaining this to somebody else. So I cut out a lot of those things. At that time, I had about 13 offers. Now I have about 3 or 4 that I offer to clients because I wanted to narrow those things down. I wanted to get some of my time back. Now, lately, I've been able to start taking Saturdays and Sundays off again, like literally. And then it's good that I did do it because I no longer have my VA as of December. So me cutting back was also, I guess, in essence, preparing for that. Now, of course, I'm going to bring on another VA eventually, but right now I have the systems in place for me to relax, take the time off, take the weekends to, if I want to research, if I want to just journal, whatever I can to kind of get my mind right. So that was number 2. Cut out what no longer works for you. Look at things in your life. If you are not in business, what are your day-to-day activities, that things that you can cut out and replace? When I was working a 9 to 5, one thing that I had to replace was watching TV all the time. Like I would come home and turn the TV on and I would sit there and I wouldn't get anything done. So one thing that I did was I started to switch out my TV time for content time. So I took the TV time and I replaced it with me creating videos, me creating content, things like that. So if you're somebody that loves Netflix, I do. I have to say, I love Netflix. I love watching TV series, especially Harlan Coben TV series, like for the movie, the most recent one that everybody loves is His and Hers. Movie shows like that, I am addicted to. But right now, I know how to get the things done in my business first, my courses, my content, my client work before I turn on Netflix. So some things you just have to look at, okay, how can I replace this to spend more time in my business? So number 3 is get in a community of like-minded women. I've run a free Facebook group for I think like since 2015 now. Well, various Facebook groups. It's not the same, but right now I have a group of over 500 women that come together for passive income. It's called Passive Income and Prosperity. But what I want you to do is find a group that's in, you can, of course, join my group. If, just feel free to join my group. I'll link it below. But I want you to find a group that's in alignment with what you're doing. Like, for example, I had a client in the past that was writing a guide on caretaking, or being a caretaker for aging parents. So I had told her to join a community for caretakers, basically. She was a caretaker at that time. So join Facebook groups with caretakers. All of the questions that flowed through that group were questions that she can put in her ebooks or her mini courses. I started joining groups that were in alignment with what I was doing when my dad became ill, sick with dementia. And so I didn't know how to handle it. So my sister-in-law recommended that I joined a caregiving group. And that's when I started thinking, oh, I can use this tip in other aspects of my business. Of course, I've always been in groups, but I never looked at them in a way to help me specifically for my business at that point in time. So that's number 3. Get in a community of like-minded women or men or whatever, whoever you are that's watching this. And then number 4 is take moments during the day to journal those ideas and hold them in your mind and create. So journaling your ideas, getting your notepad out, notebook, taking your notes. I do this almost every morning. Just get down and I write down how I want my day to look. At the beginning of each month, I write down how I want my month to look. And then once you sat there and you've journaled, you've written a vision, you've made it plain, Habakkuk 2 and 2. You are in a space where you should envision how that should look for you. So for example, for me, I want a new car. The new car that I want, it's actually on my screen. It's a blue Buick Envista 2026. So that's the car that I have on my screen. That's the car that I envision driving in every single day after I journal how I want my day to look. I envision myself getting out and going to the store, Home Goods, my favorite place, and driving in my blue Buick Envista over to Home Goods, which is like 4 minutes from my house. But I want you to journal any ideas that you have, hold them in your mind. But the most important piece of that puzzle is to make sure that you're finding time in your day to create, to implement. Everything that you've written down in your notebook should not stay in that notebook. We don't want to look years from now and see all of those amazing ideas in your notebook coming to pass for someone else because they've come up with the idea that you've had in your notebook for 4 years, 5 years, 10 years. So that's it. I wanted to just do a quick video to share with you 4 ways to focus on increase in your business. This is for those of you, especially for those of you that are in a space where you want to dance out of your 9 to 5 this year. Especially for those of you that are in the space where you want to retire this year or next year or soon, and you want to bring in that additional stream of income. So make sure you're in a place where you are actually implementing for yourself. So for those of you that, if you need more support as far as your passive income streams, be sure to check out our mentorship. It's Passive Income and Prosperity Mentorship. So that's the mentorship, which is separate from the free group that I mentioned earlier. But check that out. I'm going to link it below so that you can get into a space of like-minded women so that you can begin to create, begin to implement, and begin to monetize your message. So let me know if you have any questions in the comments.